What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and today we are going to be talking about Blue Mary, who looks absolutely beautiful, right? What a gorgeous looking character model. I love that she's sitting on this bike. That thing is amazing. But what we're going to show you today, guys, is just how strong this character is. Really, her and Terry both are they're top tier. They are top tier. As always, Netmarble introducing some insane power creep whenever new characters have arrived. And Mary's got a pretty awesome kit, especially when you start taking a look at all of this thing. I mean, she's got the insane PG rate, the 30% PG rate, something we come to expect, the increase of defenses, which is actually going to help her attack, the high critical rate with the 4%, that is nice, the shock attack damage increase, which is really great, the grab skill increase, and then becoming immune to stun and shock. That makes her super good for PvP. And she also has the decreased active skill cooldowns by 0.5 seconds. And the beautiful thing, every time we see this, right, you guys know how this is. Whenever you have that decreased active skill cooldown by whatever percent or whatever half a second or a second, whenever attacking a whatever target, shock target, burn target, whatever it may be, the case may be, you can run through your skills even faster, right? It allows you to do a lot more damage, but you can also keep your hyper armor up more often, which is actually going to help us here in a little bit. And then you got an 80% chance to stun all of the targets for 1 second upon using an active skill on a 5-second cooldown. Now, a thing that's amazing about this is whenever you do any skill, right, it doesn't matter where you're at in the screen. Just like Nameless's first skill with his fear, it applies to everybody on the screen. It is OP. So if you're in PvP and then you're facing against characters that are not immune to stun, you have a super high chance, because remember, you got 3 active skills. So there's 3 times you have an 80% chance to do that stun. And if you get that stun, you can do some insane damage to those opponents, or just build up your PG so you can do your 3 PG. And since she has 30% PG rate, it doesn't take long to do that. And then activates Stun Fang when attacking targets that can't be grabbed, right? Deals shock damage equal to 550% of attack to the target every 0.15 seconds for 1 second. This is absolutely godly in a place like Guild Raid. You can't grab in there, right? Or characters that have super armor or hyper armor up, and you don't remove their buff. I mean, she can remove their buff from her second skill, but if she doesn't, she's going to do a lot of damage to them. And then the PvP exclusive, she has the critical hit shield, which is insane for PvP. It isn't worth a crap in PvE, but you'll find that because Mary's a defensive character, she's actually got pretty decent survivability. She also does have the decreased damage received by 70% thanks to her SS passive, but it is on a 20-second cooldown. It only lasts for 3 seconds, and it is on a 20-second cooldown. However, because she has the decreased skill cooldown in her kit, you can keep her hyper armor up quite often. You don't really have to worry about her too much. Like in the Immortal Dungeons, she's going to do really well. Even though all of her skills are grabbed, she can't grab a hold of them. Remember, because she can't grab them, she's going to be dealing all that extra shock damage. She's going to be doing a lot of damage to those guys. And the same with Guild Raid. You can't grab them, but you're still going to be getting that extra 550% attack. That is insane, guys. And then her first skill, increases target damage received by 30%. Right, and drops lightning on the target. We talked about dropping lightning on the target, increasing the skill cooldowns of your opponents so they can't even use their skills. And then you got the tap and go skill here where it has an interrupt. And this interrupt is insane because it's standing, airborne, and knocked down. It has 3 different types of interrupt on it. It is insane. I mean, that's not only good for PvP. I mean, it's absolutely insane for PvP. But in PvE, it's actually really good too, because you might be in a situation where you need that interrupt skill to keep yourself standing, so that way you can go into your other skills, especially your third skill, which is your hyper armor. But whenever you tap the skill twice, you get an attack buff by 42% for 8 seconds. Now, whenever you're playing with her, and then so far from my experience playing with Mary, you really just want to focus on doing the 3 and the 1, the 3 and the 1 back and forth. The 1's going to apply the shock damage, and the 3 is going to give you that nice attack buff by 70% of defenses, which is the highest attack buff based off defense in the game. And this has an interrupt on it too, limited to where airborne. It's just nuts. She's got 2 different skills that have interrupt skills on them, which is just absolutely insane. And then her finisher could actually have a 6% chance to reset the active skills. And well, I'm going to try not to use it, but my iPhone's got this little bitty bug where the default sometimes it'll just go ahead and use the default automatically, even though I won't even push the button. So you guys will probably witness that, and that's probably going to screw up the run that I'm going to show you. But her striker passive gives her deal shock damage equal to 22% of attack to all enemies for 1 second for 10 seconds. So even if you just have Mary and you don't have her, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't use her, but if you're not using her, you can just use her as striker against Nightmare Geese and Lunatic for another opponent, and she's going to be applying shock damage for 10 seconds. And her and Lady Ashiro are the only characters that apply shock damage for 10 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. Her affinity is at level 10. We're going to run the Shizuru set on her. Nothing special. And here's going to be the beautiful thing about what we're going to do today. We're not going to use her 3PG. If I had her 3PG, this would be much easier because the 3PG gives an attack of 10%. It gives an extra critical rate increase by 3.2%. And along with the 4% critical rate from her core, that is 7.2% critical rate. That is a lot. But you're going to find that Mary is so strong. We don't even have capsules on her. We don't even have any attack capsules, defensive capsules, nothing like that. And remember, with this character, if I had defensive capsules on her, that would also increase her attack because she has an attack based off defense built into her kit, which is insane. And by the way, the Shizuru set also has an attack based off of defense. Actually, a really good set for her. Is it the best set? I don't think so. Actually, I think I do better with the 7 Knights set on her, but we're going to go ahead and use the Shizuru set because most players were able to get this as long as they were playing during the Shizuru event. So let's see what she does. And I didn't even mention her damn leadership, which is insane, right? I'm still trying to get used to this UI. By the way, guys, I've also increased my score in Guild Boss Challenge by about 120, 130 million points. I'll probably do another video about that later, which I was really, really happy about. So against Lunatic here, we need shock. And Mary does have the wonderful leadership of increased grab skill of fighters by 65%. And since all of her skills are grab, that is huge for this character. We're going to use Mai Shiranui for the support passive, or the striker passive with the increased attack and the decreased skill cooldown. And as long as you have 2 regular cooldown cards on Mary, and you got this decreased skill cooldown, which is insane, right? As a striker passive or link effect, then you're going to easily be able to keep rotating through her skills over and over and over. Whenever you're facing against Lunatic Geese, you'll never even need to use your default or your finisher. It's pretty freaking broken, guys. All right, we're going to do that again because I wasn't happy with the run, made a little bit of a mistake. Thumb is freaking killing me from playing this thing. All right, so you just want to start with your 3-5 and make sure you hit that second skill twice so that way you get your attack buff. Now, whenever you're playing on Mary, you really want to be careful about tapping the skill so much because I'm telling you, you'll get thumbinitis from doing this. And look at that, look at that. And this is how Mary does it, right? And my phone did that automatically. And what I'm trying to do is I just want to make sure that I keep attacking, so I keep decreasing my skill cooldown. See, my phone is doing the default automatically, which is kind of annoying. And we took some damage from the dark there because of it. There we go. I'll probably end up dying because my phone wants to like automatically do the default for some goofy reason. You guys will notice I won't even press the skill and it still does that. It's pretty annoying. But you just want to make sure that second skill, you do tap it twice every once in a while. We're just gonna wait. And look at that. And you never even need to use a default or a finisher whenever you're playing with this character. And it does the default, and yeah. Yeah, my phone's a little wacky, man. I seriously need a new phone. But as you guys can see, 501 million. 501 million. A1, no capsules on her, and 1 imprint stone. So let's talk about the imprint stones. So the imprint stone for the characters are pretty decent. We'll go into the codex here. The first stone actually gives you the increased damage, target damage received. I don't really think this is the best stone for her, to be perfectly honest. If you have one of them gold stones that have double attack and increase to grab skills, I think that would actually be better than this one, but it's still a pretty decent stone. Her second stone gives increase to burn and shock damage. This is actually a really, really good stone. I'm sorry, that's the third stone. That's her third stone. The second stone actually gives her the increase to SS Fighter active skill. It's actually a really, really good stone for her. So the second and third stone are really, really good for her. The first stone is okay. It's not too bad, but really if you had just double attack with increase to grab skill, that would actually be better. And you want to go with double attack on this character, guys. She has a built-in attack buff, even though she's a defensive character. She does have attack based on defense. You want to go with attack stones, just solid attack stones. You can increase your defenses if you want. If you want to put a defensive stone, you can definitely do that. But I don't think it's going to be optimal for her. I think just having all attack would be better. And whenever you take a look at her skills, like we'll just go into championship here, so we can actually preview her skills. I really hate that I already had her on here once. There we go. But let me show you something that's pretty wild. So earlier I was talking about her stun. Look at this. We'll go all the way to the back and we'll just hit the second skill. Stun. And that's what I mean. No matter where you're at in the screen, she's going to stun you if you're not immune to stun. So for PvP, that is godly. And now look at the range on her first skill. It's a grab, yes, but look at the range on this thing. She slides all the way across the damn screen to get a hold of them, which is nuts. All right, look at the third skill. The same thing. She does a little jump and then she just dashes forward all the way to the other side. So, and the first and third skill, as long as the stun's off cooldown from her core effect, she's still going to stun them. So think about that, man. If you're in there and you're facing her, right, and they go ahead and they hit their first skill, she stuns them and then she grabs a hold of them, right? Or she's backs away, right? Or they tap the second skill twice, right? Which actually can remove buffs. Right? And it removes buffs, right? But it's a counter skill, right? You know, the character's got to be attacking you in order for the counter to actually engage. And that's kind of the funky thing. People are kind of like, you know, what is this? What is this? It's a counter skill. They got to be attacking you in order for you to actually do the counter. But as you notice, it's still effective. You still do a stun. And that's also why whenever you're playing with her in PvE, you're just going to be going between the 3 and the 5. You're going to want to use the 2 once in a while, so that way you get your attack buff. But other than that, you're mainly just going to be focusing on doing the 3 and the 5. And it sucks really right now because I don't have her 3PG. And that damn 3PG is absolutely amazing. I freaking love this thing. That thing is sick as hell. But as you all saw in Guild Raid, she didn't even need it. She could just sit there and just go between her skills over and over and over and whoop up on Nightmare Geese. It's honestly pretty damn easy. It really doesn't take a lot. I mean, the worst thing about it is, you know, just getting thumbinitis from tapping your skills over and over and over. But she is godly. That is insane. 500 million. And if you look at my fame system for my blue fighters, my attack is at just level 10. So my fame system's only at level 10 for attack. So if I beefed up my defenses here, we would do even more damage because she does have attack based off defense. It's kind of the thing about defensive characters, man. You can buff them up a couple different ways, which is actually pretty cool. It's actually an advantage that they have over other characters. Also, when you increase their defenses, they just actually have a little bit more survivability. So her survivability is pretty decent. And PvP is actually going to be very good because she has a critical hit shield. But her PvE potential is actually very, very good because her damage is just absolutely insane. She's always going to be getting that extra 550% attack doing the shock damage because a lot of times, like in a lot of these PvE game modes like Spider Robot, which you need shock damage, Guild Raid, you need shock damage, Immortal Dungeons, she is not going to be able to grab them. So she's going to be getting that buff all the damn time, which is just insane. And one of the big reasons why she is so damn strong, on top of having the extra 70% increase to attack based off defenses, that is just insane. So far, I am highly impressed with Mary. I mean, I think she's absolutely godly. So let me know what y'all think about Mary. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT+7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See ya.